be your priorities after taking over as DGP of Meghalaya?
Priorities would be the basic policing, that is maintenance of law and order, prevention and detection of crime. And of course, we would be focusing on areas which we feel have whether the trends are much more disturbing. For example, if you look at crime against women and children, especially crime against women, we have seen rather than, despite all the efforts that we've been making over the years, there has been no decline. There has been, in fact, increase. And we would like, well, we have tried to reach out to various organizations, even at various levels, whether in the district level, whether in the Thana level. We haven't been able to have the kind of reactive, not the feedback, but the results that we had been hoping for. So I feel that we need to have a relook at how we will be going about it, and maybe rethink and rework our approach towards tackling such issues.
Ma'am, you are the first female DGP of Meghalaya. So, what will be your focused area, and how do you see this?
Like I've said to other colleagues of yours, I don't think the female DGP is any criteria for or qualification for being DGP. The fact of the matter is, I've put in more than 30 years of service. So DGP, I don't think female is anything like that. But yes, as one of the I hate this first thing business, but as a female officer, as a woman, I feel very strongly that women have a very different perspective, and I will try to use that perspective to ensure that women themselves feel much better. I mean, feel much safer, not better, much safer, and improve the accessibility which we have, which I know is there's a lot of room for improvement on accessibility of the police to the public.
Ma'am, as we've noticed that over the years, despite the efforts that have been made, however, we still see an increase in the crime against women. What exactly is the main problem here that we're looking at?
That's what I had mentioned earlier. We are trying to drill down and see and focus on what are the issues. Because in some cases, in some districts, we have seen an improvement. In some districts, we haven't. For example, take for us, we at one point of time we have been trying to identify the hotspots. At one point of time, it was East Giant Hills more than anywhere else, and then surprisingly West Khasi Hills. But West Khasi Hills, when we had focused on West Khasi Hills, and the kind of a special team was constituted just to look into crime against women, especially POCSO cases. It did show a lot of improvement, but somehow the momentum we've lost, and we need to have that's what like I was saying earlier, we need to have a relook and a rethink as to maybe there's something that we could do better. There are some things which we need to change. But that I would be able to talk about only after some time, not immediately.
Ma'am, you have contributed a lot in the intelligence bureau. So what step will you take to improve the intelligence collection of the Meghalaya police?
When it comes to intelligence, we always feel that the less said, the better. So I would not like to comment on how we go about collecting our intelligence. But rest assured that intelligence is a focus area for us, and without intelligence, we will not be able to really do our duties to the extent that we would like to.
Ma'am, how do you see the law and order situation in the state?
Could be better. That is what we would strive to improve.
Ma'am, how will be your approach towards the drug menace in the state? How would you approach it?
That is a concern that we've been having a lot over, especially in the recent past. It's very disturbing, especially to me, because with my experience earlier in Jainti Hills, and subsequently in East Khasi Hills, Shillong was usually a transit point, but now it's become a consumer. And despite all those seizures and everything we've made, we've not really been able to make a dent into actually the supply system. there have been very commendable efforts by the ANTF in some cases, but in a number of cases we've not really taken we've not been able to take the action that we needed to take, and we've been faulted at a number of cases, a number of instances in court. Our cases have not held up, so that deterrence factor is not there. Yes, drugs and the issue of drugs, especially the increasing crimes related because of the drug usage, especially amongst the youth and different sections of society. That is a concern which affects not only us, but it will affect not only our generation, but it would. I've seen what the effect that drugs has on at least 2-3 generations after this also. So it's something that we need to work together very closely, not only with the law enforcement, the other agencies that are involved in the fight against drugs, but also especially with the families and the society at large. But we would like to drill down to the families, because one thing I've noticed about us is we like to talk about it, but we don't really do much about it. And when it comes to my family, it's okay, no, it's not to be discussed.
The Social Welfare Minister, he had asserted the need to really stop the supply of drugs at the entry points to Meghalaya. What do you think of this?
That is only one of the aspects, I would say, as to how we would go about. How best to tackle the drug menace. Yes, if we could get them at the entry point, yes, and nothing like it. But the fact of the matter is, we have a very porous thing, and and the national highway passes through Meghalaya. So there are limitations on the amount of checking you can do, and drugs is something that is so easy to conceal. So unless there's very specific information, even if we could be checking the right vehicle, but unless we know where to look, it's very difficult to.
Can you tell us about your approach to illegal coal mining? Is there any change in the approach?
Well, I'll have to get back to you on that, Jose, because illegal coal mining, we've had numerous instructions from the government. The NGT has been there. You've had the Justice Committee which continues. The reports that have come up, the court injunctions, the court orders that have come, the instructions that have come from court, while the police has been, trying to control it. Here also, it's a question for a large number of people, a large section of society, it's a question of livelihood. So how best we balance the livelihood issue and the illegal part of it. Yes.
Madam.
Yeah.
So what step will the police department take in this regarding this investigation officer?
I mean, pardon?
What reforms will the police department take related to this investigation officer? Because what we could see is that the police department is facing, if one incident happened in Mumbai, for example, then one investigation officer is posted there, then he was transferred maybe to Tura. When the case to be heard, he has to come all the way from Tura without any DA or TA to that particular officer.
I think I would have to correct you there. When it's related to a case, and when he has to come for maybe for summons, if he has completed the case and the case has been sent to court, where the final form has been issued, when he comes for any court hearing or anything related to the case, he is entitled to the TADA. That is part of the service conditions. But when the person has not completed the case diary, his investigation, or has not even updated his case diary and all that, then obviously it is his duty to ensure that when he comes or when he hands over the case, he is called very often. At times it's it's whether at the range level or whether at the headquarters level, when he's called to complete his case diaries. Then in those cases, very often, yes, he isn't given a TADA.
Ma'am, there were so many. Star, you want to
Let me
continue?
complete.
Okay.
And then another thing, you have been an SP during the peak of the HNLC, and you have seen during that time how you handled this. and now there is a peace talk, but the HNLC has backtracked from that peace talk.
Pull up.
So, as the head of the police department, what is your view on this? Whether the peace talk should continue or in what way?
I think I'll have to recuse myself from that. Where the peace talks are concerned, it is a decision which the government has made very clear that they are very open to peace talks. As the DGP of the state, yes, we have seen HNLC, we have faced them. Yes, we have also seen peace talks with the ANBC, and which ended with a tripartite agreement. We've also seen the problems of implementing that agreement. We've also dealt with GNLA, and we didn't have any kind of peace talks with GNLA and a number of other small other groups. So where HNLC is concerned and peace talks is concerned, I think the right person to talk to would be the government in this case.
But what about, we have seen in the recent past, there were like so many demand notes by the HNLC. So what will be the stand of your department on such illegal activities?
On that, the demand notes of HNLC, the HNLC themselves have come out with clarification that it is not them. That verification is going on, whether it's actually them or it's an offshoot or it's somebody mimicking the HNLC. Investigation is going on, our inquiries are going on. I would like to leave it at that.
Ma'am, recently also we have seen that there were like so many attacks on police station, arson attacks. So, but we have not seen anybody, no arrest till today. So, what do you have to say?
Can you give me just some time on that? I've just joined today. I'll have to be looking into those cases. Maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll be better placed to answer that question.
Ma'am, we have seen that lot of
It's
misguided.
all from one side here.
Every police
Ma'am,
officer-
Okay, just let me finish and then I'll come to you.
Ma'am, we have seen that so many misguided youth, every year they try to form organization, organize GNLA or regrouping of GNLA every time they try. So what police is doing to ensure that such misguided youth do not go and form an organization like that?
Well, when it comes to misguided youth, I don't think it is only the duty of the police to be making efforts to show them a different path. It's something which the police has to work together with society, has to work together with other concerned well-meaning groups, and it should be a concerted effort, and we should be looking at having a synergy in ensuring that the youth, as you say, are not misguided.
So tenure of any police chief
Yeah.
is beset with a problem. In the next 2 years, what are your challenges? What do you think? What are the challenges that you may face?
Immediate challenges, I would say, is like I've mentioned in some other forum, that the impression of, the perception, rather than impression, the perception that Meghalaya police is hostile to the people. Let me put it very bluntly. Correcting that influence, that perception, and to ensure that the people the police are accessible, are there to help you and not to harass you. In fact, to this end, we would be having a kind of an open house every week, one day of the week between 11 and 1. Most probably it will be on a Thursday. I would love you would disseminate this information. We would be having open house in the sense that anybody who can walk in, who wants to meet the DG, I will give them a hearing. I will meet them personally. Other days, of course, they would have to take appointments, but most probably it would be a Thursday between 11 and 1 o'clock, and we could spill over. 11 to 2 most likely, that would be more 11 to 2, you would be I would be accessible to the...
Are press people also
Press people also included?
It's up to you. If you want to come, yes. But my only request to you would be, other people would also be having other issues. Okay?
So related question.
Yes.
How will you ensure decorum in police force? Because we have seen inquiries against suspended police officers, when filing an FIR against the outgoing DGP. So, transparency, accountability, how do you ensure in your police force?
That is one of the biggest challenges that that is facing us now. Meghalaya Police has long had a history of being one of the most disciplined, one of the most well-behaved police forces. In fact, let me share with you that at the moment we have 12 companies of the Meghalaya Police doing election duty in various states. They've been moving from one state to state. At the moment, they're in Delhi for the last phase of the elections, which will be happening on voting will be happening on Saturday. When they were in MP and when they were in where were they said earlier, just before MP, Orissa and Bihar, not Bihar, but in Orissa and in MP. There was a lot of appreciation for Meghalaya Police and the manner in which the force was disciplined enough to be sent, on continuous duty. Now that kind of discipline, that kind of devotion to duty is something which is actually inherent in Meghalaya Police. I think I just need to rework, revive, reinvigorate the police in that. Not only at the level of the constabulary, but more importantly at the level of the officers. Because as officers, unfortunately what has happened is we've started to work in silos. We've not been really communicating with each other in the same building. We are sending memos to each other, which certainly doesn't lead to any kind of camaraderie or any kind of esprit de corps. So I would be looking to mitigate that situation, and also to be working to see that our accessibility to the people is much better. And like for example, we have a women help desk in each police station. That help desk does do what it is supposed to be doing.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I hope this question is going to be too harsh for partly, but I travel a lot. Okay, Haji, Jatails, Gangals. Most of the time I've noticed this police personnel with gypsy or with bolero, they stand somewhere in the highway and they collect some money from the truck. So I don't know exactly, I don't think to pay because I don't know what kind of taxes that this truck has to pay. Can you highlight on that? What kind of payment that this truck they have to pay? It's happening. You cannot.
I am not denying that it's happening. In fact, it is giving us a lot of sleepless nights, not only in police headquarters but also in the secretariat. It is something which unfortunately has become more and more open in the last few years. I certainly hope that the message will go down that such things will not be tolerated, and if necessary, we will take extreme measures also to correct what's happening. Having said that, I can also tell you that there's only, I am not naive enough to believe that, to even think that I will be able to wipe it out totally, but to the extent possible, within my capacity, I will certainly ensure that that is not something which is an everyday affair along all of the highways of the state.
Ma'am, this is a bad image for the people.
And not only for the people, but for the entire state here.
Because how you say that there is transit state. People coming from Silchar, Mizoram, the same all these activities are happening on the way. It's not bad. No?
Yeah, it does look very bad, but I would also like to say that it is not as if it is only happening in Meghalaya, but be that as it may, it is something that which should not be happening, and we will take corrective measures.
Ma'am, if you can tell us what will be your strategy for expediting the recruitment process, because a lot of vacancies are pending right now.
For the recruitment process, we have a very well-laid plan, and I would say that the Central Recruitment Board has been very proactive on that. Unfortunately, there's been confusion about that relaxation in age, and the perception there's been a different perception. In fact, I would say a misconception as to the departments which are exempted from that. You must be aware that on the 23rd there is a section of a group of people have filed a petition in court. The hearing is on the 23rd. We are hoping that the court will see that we have adhered to the provisions, whatever government instructions have come vis-a-vis the recruitment. Yes, we have a large number of vacancies, but we are hoping to take a leaf of what has happened in Assam, and where they have filled up all the vacancies, And our target is to ensure that those vacancies are filled up and the recruitment is expedited to the extent possible.
Madam,
Yes?
so you are the only IPS officer from Khasi community. So what message you will send to the young boys and girls from our state that they should reach up to this level by passing this IPS exam?
Actually, I would like to say that I think we are our young our youth from Meghalaya have not really been challenged. Because it's for example, like this year when you look at the people the fact that we had absolutely nobody from the state who qualified for the examination. We had as many as 8 people from Manipur, despite all 10 people from Manipur despite all the trouble that Manipur had. Of those 10 people, do you know that 3 of them studied in Shillong, 2 of them right up to college, and 1 of them did the preparation and was successful in Shillong itself. So to say that Shillong does not have that capacity or that the education, we need to do this for the education, this, that, I think that is funny. Where the civil services are concerned, it's become much more competitive over the years. It was quite different 30 years back when I sat for the civil services. It's very different now. The competition has increased much more. Our youth need to realize that they have to, if it's something that you really want, you really have to struggle for it. It's not that I mean, there have been umpteen number of whether IPS or IAS officers from the state who have qualified before. The examination pattern has not changed very much. But the number of people contesting, the competition for it, yes, has increased. So commensurate with that, the amount of effort that is required will have to be much more than what has gone before.
Now, what is the root cause that we see, like, most of our students, they not clear the civil service exams? We think it's the education system of our state or something?
Like I said, I don't think it's the education system of the state. I think it's more whether the candidates, the prospective candidates, actually have that burning desire or not. Let me speak personally. I have a couple of nephews who went out for what did we call it? This coaching process. One went to Delhi, one was in Guwahati. 3 months into the coaching, we came back. Why? It's too difficult. We give up too easily. And that is something that we think. Because it's not that we don't have the capacity. It's just that we haven't been challenged enough to do that. I refuse to believe that that the youth of Meghalaya are anyway less intelligent or less capable. It's just that whether we are really focused enough, because the civil services examination is one of, I would say, the toughest. It has been rated as one of the toughest in the world. In the country, it's one of the toughest. I mean, if you take away the IIT, the examination, the JEE, yes, civil services is the toughest. So for that, you have to be very determined. You have to be very focused, and it's not something that you can do overnight. Or over, a lot of the younger generation, especially, seem to think that we only focus on it for a small short period of time. No, it doesn't happen that way. You're not going to. You're just fooling yourself.
What is your opinion with regards to that Meghalaya should have the Meghalaya Cadres separate?
Personally, I don't think that is a very good suggestion. Why? Because if you look at it, we are a small state. We would have a small cadre. And the roster system that a lot of people don't know about, there is a roster system in the government of India, where only 1/3 of the vacancies goes to the locals, whoever is the insider, from whoever is a domicile in the state. Okay, so that insider vacancy will arise only every 3rd vacancy. So if you in a small cadre like us, like take a typical example of Nagaland. It's a small cadre. It's always been a separate cadre. You had nearly every year you have people from Nagaland qualifying. How many of them get into the Nagaland cadre? Because that insider vacancy arises only with every 3rd vacancy, and every year there's only about maybe one. Every second, it's not even guaranteed that you have a vacancy every year. So maybe you get that insider vacancy once every 3 years, once every 4 years, or even once every 5 years. So that way you lose out. Whereas we as a joint cadre, we have the strength of Assam is much more. The strength of Meghalaya is not even 1/3 of Assam, what the strength of the cadre strength of it. So if we had been a separate cadre, I can guarantee you that I wouldn't have been in Meghalaya DGP. Because even in the year that I qualified, 1992, there were only three vacancies for a joint cadre. And because there were three vacancies, one went to an insider, and I was the only insider who had qualified that year. So that's how I landed up in a home cadre. I had two friends from Manipur, one friend from one batchmate from Nagaland. They landed up in different cadres, not the home cadre, because there was no vacancy. That is the problem with a small cadre.
Just one query. Traffic situation in Shillong is going from bad to worse. So what will be your formula to deal with it, ma'am?
That I would again have to get back to you on that, because there have been umpteen exercises that we've conducted even before I left police headquarters, even earlier also. We've had different consultations, we've had different study groups, we've had different organizations look at, make us suggestions as to what we should do and all that. We've talked to people from different states also. The problem with Shillong per se is the fact that we've not been able to expand our own capacity at all. Whatever we had 50 years ago, or more than 50 years ago when we became a state, the number of roads in Shillong has remained the same. There has been hardly any widening of any of the roads also. It was the existing roads 50 years ago. Now 50 years ago, you hardly had registration of how many vehicles in a year? Not even 100 vehicles in a year. Today we have a registration of new vehicles in Shillong, in East Kharsilas DTO. The transport office registers on an average at least 10 new vehicles every day. The last time we did a study, we had when we were looking at putting, if we were to put the vehicles which are registered just from East Kharsilas, from Shillong, in a line, we would the space for that would not be, all your roads would be covered, including all your internal roads. You wouldn't even have enough space for that. So that is a major limitation that we have in controlling traffic. Having said that also, traffic has a lot of other stakeholders also. So it would have to be a holistic approach. It cannot be just the police department. It would be the police department working together, the traffic branch of the police department working together with the other agencies also.
Ma'am, we have seen so many of these cybercrime reports. What are your strategy? How will the department deal with this matter?
Which particular crimes?
Cybercrime.
Cybercrime.
Yeah.
Cybercrime, yes. In fact, I was just discussing this with some of my officers before I came in here. Cybercrime is something that we are very limited with. Thankfully, one of the positive sides of the fact that we do not have that good connectivity is that the level of cybercrime vis-a-vis Meghalaya is not as high as in some other states, especially when you talk about frauds, whether it is bank frauds, whether it is people being duped into giving information about saying or transferring money, etc., etc. Cybercrime is something that we're working very closely with the Government of India. I4C has been coordinating. We do have a number of nodal officers. There have been a number of SOPs that have been put in place. But like you said, despite all of this, we've seen an increase in cybercrime. So yes, that would be another focus area. And we have sent some people in for training for handling, but cybercrime is such that it's such a fast, it keeps evolving. One modus operandi is being used in one instance, 2, 3 instances successful, then we move on to something else. So we have to keep updating ourselves on that also. So that is something that is an ever-changing challenge, and we are trying, but not very much success on that.
But is government investing into dealing with cybercrime? Is it enough, the investment that the government is giving as of now?
I can talk to you about how the government investment, as you say, 2 years back. But I presume at that point of time, yes, I would say yes, it was not as much as what we had wanted. But I've been told that in the last couple of years that there has been an increase. So I will look into that and see whether we need to go back to the government as to whether there is necessity for augmentation of that or not.
How equipped is the forensic lab in Meghalaya, ma'am? Because we
that
have
I'll
seen
have
any
to
cases they
ask.
have to go outside the state.
I think that there has been improvement in that, especially when it comes to NDPS cases. But for the other cases, no, we still have to send out. Ballistics and chemicals division, I know, is pretty good. We're not sending cases regarding that out. But when it comes to forensic evidence, when it comes to DNA or anything like that, then we do have to send it out. And also, cybercrime forensics is not so great at the moment. We are working on that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.